When we're searching for a little bit of calm, a little mental clarity, we often think we need these big, complicated solutions. But what if a really powerful tool for your own wellness was, well, already in your hands? Today, we are diving into the ancient art of mudras.
Does this sound familiar? That mental fog just rolls in, or you get that wave of anxiety that just doesn't want to quit. You are definitely not alone. It's kind of the signature of modern life, and just finding a way to hit the reset button can feel like this huge, impossible challenge.
But what if I told you that one of the most effective tools for managing all that stuff wasn't in some app or a self-help book? What if it was something you carry with you everywhere you go? What if the power was, quite literally, in your own hands?
Okay, so let's get into it. We're talking about the ancient practice of mudras, and let's start right at the beginning. What exactly are they?
So the word mudra, it's Sanskrit, and it means a gesture or a seal that you make with your hands. The idea behind it is actually pretty simple. Our hands are just packed with nerve endings that connect directly to our brain. So by making these very specific physical gestures, the belief is that we can actually influence our internal state, our mind, our mood, our energy. And this is not just some small, obscure practice. We're talking about an incredibly deep tradition. It's not just a couple of hand positions. In classical Indian arts, there are over 200 distinct mudras. That's an entire language of gestures.
And look, this is about way more than just making cool shapes with your hands. The real goal, the whole point of practicing mudras, is to intentionally guide your mood and maybe even shift your whole level of consciousness. All right, let's get practical. This is the fun part. We're going to build a little toolkit right now with 4 specific mudras you can start using right away to support your own mental wellness. First up, we have the Hakini Mudra. Okay, think of this one as your secret weapon for when you really need to sharpen your mind. Like maybe you're brainstorming a new idea, or you're just trying to concentrate on a really tough task.
So what's actually going on here? Well, by bringing all 10 of your fingertips together, you're basically creating a closed circuit. This simple gesture is thought to help balance the left and right sides of your brain. And what does that do? It can lead to better creativity, a stronger memory, and sharper thinking. It's a seriously powerful tool for fighting that feeling of mental burnout. But what about those times when you just feel stuck? Creatively, mentally, you just can't see the solution. For that, there's the Uttarabodhi Mudra. This gesture is designed to spark that aha moment. By practicing this one, you're essentially creating a mental space for new ideas to just pop in. It's said to help cut through all the confusion, which makes it way easier to solve problems and make those clear, confident decisions. Okay, now for those moments when you just need to feel a little more grounded, a little safer, we have the Kashyapa Mudra, also known as the tortoise seal. And the name says it all, right? Just like a tortoise retreats into its shell, this gesture is all about creating a sense of inner safety and protection. Think of this as your own personal energy shield. It's especially useful if you're in, say, a stressful meeting or you feel like you're surrounded by negativity. It just helps you stay balanced and creates this little buffer against all those draining external pressures. Our final gesture might be the most dynamic one of all, the Kali Mudra. This one isn't about passive protection. Nope, this is an active tool for letting go, for releasing and even destroying the negativity you might be holding on to. The key word here is action. This mudra is about purification. You use it to actively dismantle stress and anxiety, clearing out all that emotional clutter that just isn't serving you anymore. So here's a quick look at our toolkit. We've got Hakini when you need focus, Uttarabodhi for that spark of inspiration, Kashyapa for protection, and Kali for release. And notice the different recommended times. You can pick and choose what you need for as long as you need it. Okay, so we've got the tools. Now how do we actually use them? Let's talk about the practical side of starting your very own mudra practice. And you know what? It's refreshingly simple. First, try to sit with your spine comfortably upright. This just helps energy flow better. Second, and this is important, be gentle with your hands. You don't need to strain or force your fingers into place. And third, the pressure should be light, intentional, not a death grip. And this right here might be the most empowering part. You don't need a special yoga mat, you don't need a perfectly quiet room or a whole dedicated hour. You can practice these gestures really discreetly, anywhere. On the bus, at your desk, waiting in line. It makes mental wellness so incredibly accessible. Now, it's really important to practice safely. So the general rules, be gentle, watch your posture, those apply to all mudras. But for the Kali Mudra specifically, because it's so powerful and energizing, sources suggest you might want to avoid it if you have a very thin body type or a really high metabolism, just because it could be a little overstimulating. And of course, we have to include this important note. Everything we've talked about here is for informational purposes. These practices can be a fantastic support for your well-being, but they're absolutely not a substitute for professional medical advice. Please always talk to a qualified healthcare provider for any health concerns you have. So, after all that, what's the big takeaway here? What's the one thing to remember? It's this. Something as simple as seemingly small as the way we hold our hands can be a profound tool for taking care of ourselves. These small, intentional gestures are a reminder that we have the power to actively shape our own inner world moment by moment. Which really just leaves us with one final question for you. Now that you know these tools exist, they're accessible, they're free, and they're always with you, what could you unlock for yourself? More focus? More peace? A little more creativity? The potential is right there, in your hands.